Your Excellency, Madam Monica Chakwera, First Lady of the Republic of Malawi, Your Honor, Dr. Salos Klaus Chilima, Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Your Excellency, Dr. Joyce Banda, former President of the Republic of Malawi, and Your Lordship, Chief Justice Richard Banda, SC, retired. Your Honor, Kumbo Hastings Kachali, former Vice President of the Republic of Malawi. Your Honor, Catherine Gotanihara, MP, Speaker of the Parliament of Malawi. Your Lordship, the Chief Justice Andrew Nyirenda, SC. Honorable Richard Chimwendo Banda, MP, Minister of Homeland Security, and Chairperson of the main organizing committee, and all organizing committee members of the 57th Independence Day celebrations, all Cabinet and Deputy Ministers here present. Right Reverend Dr. Fanuel Emmanuel Magangani, Chairperson of the 57th Anniversary Worship Service of the officiating clergy, and all the religious leaders here present, all the leaders, representatives, and members of the Tonse Alliance here present, Mr. Zanga Zanga Jikosi, Secretary to the President and Cabinet, and all government officials here present, Your Excellency George David Agune, High Commissioner of the Republic of Zimbabwe to Malawi, and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Your Excellencies, heads of mission and international organizations here present, Your Worship Juliana Kaduya, Mayor of the City of Lilongwe, Honorable Alfred Gia, Member of Parliament for Lilongwe City Center, and all members of Parliament here present, Paramount Chiefs and all traditional leaders here present, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin with a quote from my own address exactly a year ago. I quote, "While our founding fathers and mothers accomplished their goal of national liberation, and their sons and daughters accomplished their goal of political liberation, it is your generation that must accomplish the goal of economic liberation." End of quote. It is this idea of economic liberation that inspires the theme of this year's Independence Day, building an inclusive, wealthy, and self-reliant nation. The clergy preferred building an inclusive, prosperous, and self-reliant nation. It is this idea of economic liberation that inspires the vision of Malawi 2063. It is this idea of economic liberation that inspires the goals of our manifesto. That idea is that the goal of our independence was not merely to make us free to govern ourselves, but also free to better ourselves. That idea is that independence is not merely about liberty, but also about prosperity. That idea is that independence is about each of us making Malawi better. Making Malawi better for other citizens. Making Malawi better for our neighbors. Making Malawi better for our children. Making Malawi better for our visitors. Making Malawi better for posterity. if we are serious about achieving economic liberation, then we must each apply ourselves every day to some task or enterprise that makes Malawi better. To achieve economic liberation, we must do the one and only thing that leads to prosperity. That one and only thing is productivity. Let me say it again. Productivity is the only thing that leads to prosperity. A man who produces nothing of use with his hands cannot prosper. A family that produces nothing of use in its own field cannot prosper. A factory that produces nothing of use by its machines cannot prosper. A company that produces nothing of use by its workers cannot prosper. A country that produces nothing of use by its industries cannot prosper. To achieve the economic liberation our independence was meant for, we need more and better production from all sectors, which means we need more and better productivity from all citizens. To achieve economic liberation, what we need is not more talking or mere talking or more shouting or more finger pointing or more politicking or more begging or more gossip or more meetings or more political parties or more prayers. If any of these things were God's formula for prosperity, Malawi would be the wealthiest of all nations. When we gather to pray, as we are doing today, it is to humble ourselves before God and acknowledge His power to do things that we cannot do. But we must never think that the power that is in God's hand is a substitute for the power He has placed in our hands. We must never think that God will change His formula for prosperity for us. For it is we who must change to make that formula work for us. God's formula for prosperity is productivity. And productivity means doing more and more, or better and better, the useful things that make Malawi better than we found her. That is what each one of us must be busy with. So on this 57th Independence Day, I leave you no promises and no decrees. Instead, I leave each of you with a single and simple question, and that is, what are you doing in making Malawi better? Even you as citizens must, each of you, ask each other that question. When you hear a fellow citizen complaining, ask them, is what you are doing making Malawi better? When you see people putting ugly decorations around about, stop and ask them, is what you're doing making Malawi better? When you see people walking around without masks or social distancing, ask them, is what you're doing making Malawi better? When you see a minister posting nonsense on social media, ask them, is what you're doing making Malawi better? If we keep asking each other this question, if we stay vigilant and watch over this nation, if we ensure that we do not stand idly by or fold our hands, if each of us apply ourselves to doing something that makes Malawi better, I tell you, economic liberation will not be the dream of our independence. It will be, finally, our destiny. God bless you for listening, and God bless Malawi.